brave to go for this Ricky pickup early on, but they definitely seem to be confident in it. Now, do they take a second court? They've got 10th picks. That seems unlikely. Looking like they're going to grab their offlaner right about now. Which works worth a clockwork.
They could just go for the just a little Shadow Fiend play, you know, get Iceberg back on the Shadow Fiend.
Cute.
You got the Clockwork Shadow Fiend combination. You got a bit more of a guy who can buy the early BKB to be the frontliner. You got the Ricky who can obviously play around it. You got the building damage potential from the Shadow Fiend aura. The only issue is you again very much lock the stuns, the lockdown, and just generally what you kind of want in your team. They also might be trying to decide, are they trying to flex this Clockwork between 3 and 4? If so, again, picking your mid here might be ideal because then you get to flex that a little bit longer. Or they might just want to pick up their offlane. Yep, okay. They just pick up their offlane. They realize that they need a way to take fights. They have to improve from the previous game, and picking up a Ravage, man, probably one of the biggest ways to include teamfight into your draft. I guess the only issue to this will be once Ravage is down, you still lack the whole control thing. You don't have continued lockdown. So Winstrike might be able to punish this with one additional pick that has a bit of mobility, and then suddenly FlyToMoon have a lot of pressure put on them to hit the Ravages, get 2 3-man ones, which always lead to like good team fights into potential map control.
So Winstrike, now with their 4th pick needed, they have themselves an offlaner. They have themselves what probably is their mid laner. So I would imagine, I mean, I'd pick my carry now and then ban something which is good against it. They go for the Razor. The Void Spirit might not be what it seems. I'm trying to figure this one out here. Obviously very good against the Tide.
Well, the thing is, they don't have last pick in the draft from Winstrike, so I'm expecting it just to be Razor safe lane against the Tide, and then Void Spirit will most likely be the mid lane, because I don't think DK Fogas plays it that much. So then you have the Beastmaster off lane, and they're probably keeping up the position 4 role, maybe a little bit open. I would hope not to see some like weird Beast 4 or Void Spirit 4 and some hope to bamboozle them because they don't have last picks. So yeah, I think they're just keeping up their support until last pick. Thoughts, Mr. Nomad?
Thoughts? Mac and cheese or soup?
Mac and cheese with a nice bit of seasoning.
Agreed, really. Yeah. It's not really much of a thought.
Yeah, you kind of gave like... Yeah, so does mac and cheese to some degree, but...
Whoa, I'm not sure about that one, Chief.
I don't mind, yeah. It depends on the quality of it, you know? Like,
true,
it needs to be good.
You can get some really bad mac and cheese.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
Absolutely true. It's got a very low skill floor.
Yeah. But Winstrike taking the time on their last ban, really just trying to understand what they need to get rid of.
Right, you know what's good though? Truffle mac and cheese. Have you ever had that?
Never, mate. Never.
Dude, truffle mac and cheese is so nice.
All right, noted. Noted.
You can give it a go. Trust me.
All right, I will. I'll give it a go. You know what else Winstrike might be doing as well? They might try to be giving it a go towards banning out Lina or Quap. They need a bit of magic damage. They need to diversify, just like you were trying to diversify the mac and cheese.
You know what else goes well on mac and cheese? No, I'm just kidding.
Get me out.
Just every time you try to go back to the draft, I'm just like, you know what? I want to keep on going.
All right. Tiny coming in. There's the position 4 as stated. Therefore, FlyToMoon, I would expect either a Lina or a Quap.
Yeah, you don't want something which can be ganked easily by this tiny in mid.
No. That's why Quap kind of looks nice. Puck obviously is banned. Death Prophet could be kind of cool. DP could be kind of hot, but like,
DP is always hot.
Oh god.
I'm glad we only have about 200 viewers for this one. Ember is going to be the final pickup for FlyToMoon. Okay, sure. All right, yeah, seems a little bit more vulnerable than perhaps a Queen of Pain would be. But yeah, it's going to be the play. And it's actually... Oh, okay, it's going to be Young G on the Void Spirit and Chicky Rao on the Razor. So it should be the Ember versus the Void Spirit in the middle lane. Still a pretty good lane for the Void Spirit, though. We've seen him crush this matchup before. Yeah,
it's very much a skill-based matchup. Depending on who gets the early level advantage, can get a little bit more oomph in the lane. Ember Spirit, of course, with the ability to push out lanes with his Flame Guard. And then you have Void Spirit with the Resonant Pulse. It's very much like both lads are going to do the same thing pretty much in the lane, just who gets the edge, who gets maybe the rune advantage, and General playing the Clockwork off lane. Yeah, I was going to say General probably is going to be on the off lane, therefore putting the Tide on position 4. All right, I'm down. I'm a big fan of this.
Yeah, I like
Oh my
this.
god, Tide
General
on a crit.
clock.
Yeah, I think
Way sick.
the main concern FlyToMoon had was having a tempo setter, and I think picking up the Tide Hunter, it puts you in a position of you going, all right, cool, we got the offlane Tide, we got a lot of team fight suddenly, but it's still quite clunky, especially when it gets a Razor. So what you do, you put the clock edge of 3, especially with General. I think some of the best Clockwork players are General, and I believe Non-Grata is the other one. Therefore, just give them one of their comfort heroes, let them play tempo, set a high level of aggression, and then you pair that with this Ember, this Ricky, super in your face, and then eventually at the end of it, you're like, oh wait, we still got the Ravage behind, lads. So yeah, I like the quirkiness of this draft, but I guess the main concern is simply if they run at them a couple times too many, maybe they overcommit. It's a lot of lads against a Razor, a lot of melee boys against this Razor, so Razor will always be able to get damage in these fights, and you pair that with an Oracle save or with a Roar or any other form of control, then FlyToMoon might find themselves just bumping their heads into a wall, especially if they don't have Ravage.
Alrighty, let's get into it. Can they beat the Ravage wall? The wall of Ravage, the wall that'll Ravage. Let's find out. Game number 2 of FlyToMoon versus Winstrike is now live. And yeah, I mean, I think I do like what FlyToMoon are doing.
Yep.
I kind of think from last game, the fact that Winstrike's draft looks a little bit easier to pull off, their lanes just look a little bit better. I think overall, I do favor Winstrike quite a lot.
I'm kind of on the opposite side, where I feel like FlyToMoon, it's so easy for them post laning phase just to run at you. If you get to that diffuser on Ricky, if you get to like a phase drum BKB, or even if he goes for the small crit type build on Ember, I feel like there's enough ways to start a fight and be present within the fights that they could have a good showing. I think my major concern is actually just being able to take buildings. I think, as you say, you favor Winstrike. Now that I think about it a bit more, Winstrike can hit buildings quite comfortably after a team fight if the Beastmaster is still alive.
Yeah.
FlyToMoon, on the other hand, they don't really do anything to buildings at all.
No.
So after this kind of long-winded, topsy-turvy analysis, yeah, I'm going to go Winstrike as well.
Alright, that's 2 for Winstrike then. They can probably call it now then. I don't really think there's much more needs doing. No.
Well, it's cast a curse. We're taking this to a game 3.
No shit. But well, I've got a question though. Why do we never see Razors pick up Diffusal Blade?
Razor is a very squishy hero. It needs mobility and presence within a fight. Diffusal Blade provides you damage, and that's about it.
That's slow.
And it just doesn't fit into the
static
set.
link.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if a target's slow. If they just look at you and they're just killing you, like it's all about yours, BKB, SMY. These are just items to prolong your life within the game. Diffusal does not fit that criteria.
Okay. But can you make the same argument for Troll Warlord?
He has the ultimate to keep himself alive a bit
True.
longer.
Right,
and normally paired with supports that also enable him. DK Focus, on the other hand, is
Oh,
not paired with
my
supports
goodness.
that enable him.
Yeah.
And when you start a tri-lane with AA and Tide Hunter, you get an early pointy gush, you get that beautiful chilling touch. It's very hard to play the game.
Very cute, and they're going to do the exact same thing here. Toss back from TSA, going to save him from a little bit of damage, but still taking a ton of harass here from the Ancient Apparition, as the Tiny getting beaten down to a pulp. Meanwhile, Young G running away from Iceberg in the middle lane. Not particularly healthy, but so far, so good for Iceberg. Oh, beautiful taunt, though. Did you see that? Catching out the Ember Spirit and stopped him from getting the range creep. That was so good. The range creep was here.
Yep.
And Iceberg kind of like went around like this to hit it, and he fired out the remnant going like this, and mwah. Chef's kiss. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, still, yeah, a really good start to the lane from Young G, but there's a lane pushing in towards Iceberg now, so he should be able to level it out, and yeah, it's going to come down to who can play the lane better and who has better spell usage and all that kind of thing. And
but you know, quick point, do you know why they're able to try lane top? It's because the Clockwork went for level 1 cogs. He was able to get back the range creep to ensure the lane was pushing. The issue here is simply he's not been able to get to level 2, and also they are able to easily pull the wave. So as much as this gimmick allows him to get maybe that early wave, maybe a couple creeps or two, as soon as the lane progresses post 2 minutes, I feel it might be impossible for him to actually remain solo down here. He's going to need an additional hero to come and help him, or just push, grab a lot of creep waves and create the double wave, triple wave, and let it push naturally into his tower.
Yeah, but it has been a rough start for this Clockwork. 0 and 4 currently, not where you want to be.
I'd have liked to see him actually bring maybe a sentry to his lane, maybe block up this hard camp to prevent this pull. Because if they weren't able to pull, he'd be loving every little bit of XP right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It'd be flooding in.
Flooding
G,
in
flooding.
Radiant XP.
Drowning in XP. Gasping.
I will not continue this, because like, my mind's going one way, and I know the cast wants to go another.
But yeah, Young G keeps on playing Iceberg with these beautiful, beautiful remnant placements, just stopping him getting some CS in the tower and all sorts. It's been artful. Currently now 20-2 to 14-1, so Young G really starting to pull ahead here. And going to continue the aggression here. He catches him with the Remnant. Can he finish the job, though? He's got the Fairy Fire to keep him alive, but Young G with the bottle delivered keeps on chasing. Iceberg tries to dodge with the Sleight of Fist and with the bottle healing him up as well. Young G could actually be in some trouble here. He needs to get out from under the tower, but Iceberg's just going to turn around, hit him once, and get the kill. And that doesn't feel too great.
Skill-based matchup.
Yeah.
He had the bottle charges, utilizing the tree, and then obviously underneath the tower. Of course, and as soon as you dive into here on the tower, they have bonus armor due to obviously the tower aura. Additionally, meanwhile in the bot lane, you then had Clockwork also got killed off by the Oracle and the Razor combination, whilst Tidehunter was singing his merry praises, getting his little Pied Piper gang of 2 creep waves to follow him around the map.
Indubitably. Meanwhile, in the top lane, DK Focus taking a smidgen of harassment there from the Ricky as he blinks forwards. Quite bothersome, but nothing to really be too concerned about.
You're trying to be way too British now, suddenly. You're really trying to lean into the British.
How I always speak,
and they go into bot lane, Razor trying to zone out the Clockwork, unable to obtain enough damage. See, we could do it as well if you'd like.
Brilliant, brilliant. This is our
probably
new cast
my list, right? Yeah, if I put an
Sir Robson.
We're crumbling, mate.
Sir Robson Meritsworth.
Good
luck making my name posh because it's foreign.
No.
Foreign.
Proclaim.
The Empire.
Oh God. British political jokes. Yay.
The weird thing about like British politics is that we don't get told. Like, did you ever get taught anything about like the British Empire in school?
No.
No,
really?
Nobody did. Like it just kind of got swept under the carpet. It's a really bad kind of like whitewashing of history. Yeah. No, like the British Empire when we owned like
I know, but I'm
like
saying
colonized
my
the world. Right.
Like Romans, Victorians, etc., etc.
Yeah, same.
It's all like not topical. It was all like cool things you'd actually want to learn about, not like our nation's history. Ugh.
Yeah, like our nation's history and how we committed horrible crimes across the world and
disguising our horrendous past.
Yeah, I'm just saying, don't get taught all the time. Nah, didn't happen. It's all good.
Nah, mate. Romans though, Testudo. Yeah. That shield thing.
Caesar.
Very cool.
Oh yeah, that boy, the turtle.
Yeah.
Very big. Yeah, glad we knew about that. That's helpful.
Also the Colosseums, mate, banging.
Yeah, weird how we got taught so much about the Colosseums, but not taught that much about the actual gladiator fights. Almost like they didn't want us to. To be fair, I went to a pretty rough school, and I think we definitely would have recreated the Colosseum fights if they'd taught us about it. So definitely a good call.
Oh, we had a Colosseum in our playground. It was like a gravel pit with 4 big wooden posts with like a loose top to it, which basically became our fighting Colosseum.
Perfect. What a great idea that is.
Yep.
Oh, revealing the ward, but trying to get a kill onto Aloha Dance for it. Is it going to be enough? It certainly is. They've got the damage.
Young G
simultaneous fights going in. Yeah, VTune is the one in trouble right now. Meow down at bottom there, able to escape. So back towards top. VTune on the run on the Ricky. Doesn't really have anything though. He's got the blink strike. Gets away to his teammate. Young G still chasing. Might not be able to find anything. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, in comes the Emma Spirit, and he's able to clean up both of them. Both the Razor and the Oracle goes down, and that is going to end up
But this
General
is how
stays alive.
both of these mid lanes, Ember Spirit, Void Spirit, they have the same concept. They want to push out their lane, get the rune, and be active. The difference is Ember, when he TPs to a tower, he will be on top of the hero. He will connect. He will get the kills. Void Spirit, though, when he goes, he has to be very smart with his moves. He only has 2 astral steps available. If he commits one aggressively and then double commits, he's then in a bad position. So it's a lot easier right now for Ember Spirit to move around the map and get the kills, as you saw with the double kill coming out from Iceberg.
We're gonna land onto Iceberg, but they're just chilling. That's not really too much to be afraid of.
Oh, but look at this Ricky CS. He's loving life. 45 for 29.
It's a dream.
Nutty, mate.
That is the dream. Parabal's trying to tickle his pickle a little bit, but with its invis, it's much harder for him to have much of a lane presence.
No pickle shall be tickled today, sir.
Do you like pickles?
Yeah, mate, they're banging. One of the most underrated parts of a burger.
Agreed. Thoroughly agree with that one.
Yeah. Like, I wasn't a tomato fan for quite some time, but a nice bit of tomato lettuce and a banging pickle, delightful.
Yeah, I think the reason a lot of people aren't tomato fans though is because you can get some really bad tomatoes. Like an unripe tomato just tastes like a really like dense piece of
Just
oh my god,
always want to fly being the unripe tomato that he is in the top lane.
No, he's looking like an overripe tomato. He's just looking squishy and gross and leaking all over the place. And Young G's just gonna pick him up gently and throw him in the bin.
But for me, it's like the tomato. Back to the tomato chat. It's like
yeah, sure.
When it's thin and it's just nicely put in, then it's fine, right?
Oh,
when it's like chungus, when it's like bigger than the patty, that's when you got concerns.
Inside there. You're just like, what are you doing?
I hate tomatoes raw, right? You feel me? Like it has to be like a.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
It has to be like complementing something, then I can rate it. Just like General isn't complementing his hook shot, missing it.
Sure, yeah, and now he's dead because the damage from the Razor is way too much, and now it's trying to keep him alive here, but I don't think he can. There is too much magic damage, and the Sleight of Fist timed beautifully from Iceberg to finish off another kill.
Right, so yeah, anyway, with the tomatoes...
I got served a breakfast the other day, which was avocado toast with tomatoes, right? And I was like, sounds alright. No. Except the tomatoes were actually just like about 10 sliced cherry tomatoes, like just sliced in half, placed around on the plate, and I'm like, oh well, this isn't really a dish. I thought it was gonna be like maybe like some sun blushed tomatoes on top or a bit of puree, you know, call me fancy, but that's what I was kind of hoping. You know, it was a very relatively nice place, but nope, just throw some tomatoes on there. It's not really a dish.
Well, how about we make an agreement? Let's not talk about tomatoes anymore, right?
All right.
You down?
Let's talk about olives. Olives now. There's so many different types.
Disgusting.
Oh, really? Really?
Right.
I can
look at top lane though. Young G rotating in, getting the pick off onto the Ricky with the dust.
See you later, buddy.
Work, sir. You're a core player. You pick up your own dust. You secure your own kills. Strong, independent mid laner.
Definitely. Don't need no support.
No, but my major concern here is this Tidehunter is kind of just existing within this game, kind of running around. Sure, he did get a couple creep waves for the Clockwork Bottom, but he's only ever going to be a Ravage. Maybe eventually gets a Gush, the Ag, sorry, so that he can get that AoE minus armor, pair that with the Ember Spirit, chip damage of the Slight. That's a really strong combination, but then you're expecting your Tidehunter to be able to farm like a 4k gold item when he is just roaming around the map. So maybe look to start some kills, as you see, get
bottom lane, see you later, kicked is gone, and they're moving up to top. They want to try and defend this tier really 1 tower. It is already gone, but maybe they can get some retribution.
But they have the Ravage, TPing in the Clockwork as well. Doesn't
Here we go. They need to get themselves away. Winstrike, but unfortunately 2 heroes going to get caught out, and it is the Razor, and it is the Beastmaster. But he's going to try and go for a cheeky kill before he goes down. But unfortunately, Iceberg is there with a Sleight of Fist, and with that spell maxed out, it does more than enough damage to put an end to DK Focus's life. Meanwhile, Void Spirit on the run, gets away safely, and that's your first Ravage of the game. He gets his level 6 from mid lane, and then he uses it beautifully.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried with where the Tidehunter was going to play, but then especially you get that term instant smoke, beautiful work. And now you have to kind of relax a little bit, play off the fact that you want to farm, and yeah, take the game 1 Ravage at a time.
Quickly, you got to remember. I've played you here, mate. I've played you here.
I've won.
Played you here.
I drew the line first, yeah, no. I was looking and I was like,
you absolute.
All right, man.
Beta.
Calm down.
That's how we in Britain. That's how we establish dominance over other males.
We're quite
primal here.
Crosses.
Yeah, silent game of noughts and crosses.
It's like
Especially
when
when
you
it
walk to a
fades.
man and like, slap him with the glove right for the duel. You present me the noughts and crosses board. A man cannot resist. I wasn't thinking strategy. I was thinking from my heart. That was a passion game. You can't do me like that, no man.
Damn, I gotta respect that, sir.
Thank you.
I call it a draw. My house is on a bit. Oh yeah, Ricky gets himself the broom handle. Everybody knows you always pick up broom handle for the attack range. No one cares about the damage. No one cares about the armor. It's only about the attack range. That's all you get it for.
Lane, though. Hold up.
That was me,
He's
by the way. Don't take it seriously.
There's no way you're going to be able to get the raw onto an Ember Spirit when he Ember Spirit out. Yep.
Have you ever once thought to yourself, when you've had broom handle, I'm sure glad I've got this extra attack range on my melee hero?
I like it on Spirit Breaker. You play for the bash. Very cool.
So you've noticed, you noticed the broom handle, dude?
Yeah, I felt it.
Oh, you feel it inside. Meanwhile, oh dear me, that was a brutal assassination of DK Focus. But at the same time, Aloha Dance goes down in the mid lane. And that's actually a solo kill as now I'm looking ahead for more as Tiny, well, he's going to be okay. Kept alive by Kicked, and Void Spirit also hunky-dory as well. So FlyToMoon unable to find anything more than that. Trying to do something with this Ricky. But without his Diffusal Blade, he's not much of a hero.
But you're killing the Tidehunter, committing quite a lot of time for him. And then meanwhile, the Clockwork and Ember Spirit get a kill on the Beastmaster in the top lane. So
yeah,
it's not as if you're even losing any presence on the map. You're going even for trades. And I think FlyToMoon will be pretty happy with this. We spoke about it during the draft. There's a timing which Ricky with Diffusal Blade, Ember Spirit, if he goes for maybe small crit and then BKB or something like that, he's actually going Maelstrom, which is perfectly fine. Like, once they get to their 1 or 2 active items on FlyToMoon, they will be able to just non-stop run at you. And when your carry is this Razor buying a Yules, it's not like he's a scary, like, oh wow, he's going to pump out a lot of damage. He's going to have presence within fights, but it's like, he needs to set up correctly, otherwise he will just die. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next 5 to 6 minute window from FlyToMoon where they should be the aggressors.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see a bit of action coming out from them, but at the same time, like Winstrike, you look at their team and you're like, well, actually, they probably want to be fighting pretty soon as well. You know, this is not a late game lineup by any stretch of the imagination, but they would like to get these Yules online on both their Void Spirit and their Razor before they really turn up to a fight for reals. So they're just going to try and just abuse the pressure which the Beastmaster can put out to control where they are on the map. But meanwhile, the Oracle's just getting beaten in from behind with the General and with Aloha Dance coming forward. And they are being aggressive here. And with the Ravage coming down, DK Focus just feeding himself into this. Young G's got to come in, though, looking for revenge. Jumping on top of the Tide, getting that damage off. And it is plenty off it. They will be able to bring him down. But meanwhile, General finds a catch in the backlines. Very nicely done. Brings down DK Focus. And now they're in some trouble. Void Spirit needs to get himself out, but not before they'll drop TSA. Now, Winstrike still looking to play this one. I mean, Young G's still having a go. He's running out of mana, though, and that is a concern.
No.
Nice.
Look at that RNG.
Yeah.
Uses the Searing Chains and both the Necro units. Great.
Oh, the deny. Yeah, very beautiful.
Lots
very
of gold
beautiful.
From those Necro units.
Only 50% credit because he's dead.
Yeah, but that means 100% more effort put into his Necros.
True. Go on then, give you
technically
PSA.
Would be less value, therefore less micro, but we get it. All right.
Oh, Void Spirit, pick up your Van Brace off the floor. You dirty peasant.
This changes everything now, by the way. Stop talking dirty to these lads. So Ricky, getting the Diffusal Blade, he's going to want to be, you know, big man. Like, Ember Spirit actually going for the Lincolns first. I guess he's trying to play around the Raw. It's the only way he dies in this game. Outside of maybe a tiny combo, so yeah, mid lane, Tidehunter tanking a couple spells.
Oh, he's in some trouble here, and Aloha Dance might be losing his life. Certainly will be. Can I get anything in response? The Raw comes out onto the Clockwork. He's a tricky one to bring down with the hookshot forward to Razor, but the save comes in from Oracle. The false promise, but he needs to heal him up, and he needs to heal him up now. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Kick's going to be able to do that because he's having trouble with himself, and he will get dropped by the Sleight of Fist from Iceberg. Kick gets dropped, as does General in the end, though, and Chikira's actually able to get himself out. Meanwhile, DK Focus, is he good here, or is Iceberg good? Who is good? I don't know who's good. Meanwhile, jump away from the Ember Spirit. Is able to just turn around and get that jump back to his remnant he placed earlier. Ooh. Getting spicy. These engagements all very, very close as they try to battle it out, skirmish along with each other to find out who's going to come out on top in this early mid.
Just shows how hard it is to FlyToMoon though. Outside of Ravage, the Tide is literally just like
Just a watermelon.
Yeah, a watermelon. He's just a damage soak where he's meant to try and tank a spell or two and then hope that they can take the fight after. But you see, he dies straight away in the fight, and then one by one, FlyToMoon come in, never truly committing a lot of numbers, but getting a couple kills needed. Tiny obviously was just farming the sideline the entire time, so kind of lucky on that front. But I think it's such a clear indicator that when Winstrike have the items, it'll be very scary for FlyToMoon to play without Ravage. But with Ravage, very scary from FlyToMoon.
Yeah, it's kind of the epitome of this this game right now. Is this Ravage is what it all comes down to.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe the Yules are going to make a bit of a difference, as they have now got both of these Yule Scepters out on both the Void Spirit and on the Razor. So it's a bit more control in their fights, a bit more safety.
Double tornado.
Whoa! Getting windy up in here.
All right, General just got the Dragon Scale. He is so happy right now. He's got Chainmail, Dragon Scale, Double Bracer. This guy's going to be packing out some big resistance.
He is tonked. I mean, this just means that he can sit on the top of the Razor, right? This is really good because you don't want Chikirao to have a free fight. You don't want him running around doing what he wants. And without the Ravage, that is what he's going to be doing. You know, like nothing else stops him other than Clockwork and the Ravage. And usually the Clockwork's going to suffer because Eye of the Storm plus, hopefully Cycling doesn't get used on the clock. It doesn't usually, but Eye of the Storm alone should be enough to kill the clock inside the cogs with the Razor. But if he's got all this extra armor, then that's not quite going to be the case, I don't think. So I like this build from him. Meanwhile, Young G, this is a challenge. This is come and fight us. We're going to take your outpost right in front of your faces. What are you going to do about it?
Take your mid-tier one.
Oh. Well, okay, fair enough. Guess that's pretty worth it for you. Meanwhile, they might have found themselves, a bit of a Tide Hunter kill here, and that's 30 seconds with no Tide.
Yeah.
How the Tides have changed.
Slaps knee profusely.
Wave's going to take a bit of time to get in, though, and with the time it takes for the creeps to arrive, General and Always Want to Fly can get themselves set up for something here. And there is a remnant for the Ember Spirit, and this might be a bit of a bait. They should know that the Hawk is going to be here. Ember Spirit jumps forwards, looking to be a nice tasty morsel here, but they might actually be able to bring him down in time. Look at that, he just melts! Not a good idea, Winstrike, but they buy back on Iceberg. He wants to come back into this one, and he certainly shall. Meanwhile, Winstrike trying to get themselves away, but Void Spirit's going to be caught out. The Yule's out onto himself, try and buy himself a bit of time, but there is no time to be gained here. They will lose the Void Spirit.
Got the kill as well. That's so sad.
Yeah,
actually.
it's actually not that good, is it? Go on, Ravage kicked.
The Ember Spirit lost 544 gold in that fight, primarily due to his buyback. That kill was 460 gold. If he got that, would have pretty much covered his buyback. Unfortunately, greedy little AA coming in, sniping the kill, claiming it was a solo pickoff.
And now, as well, if the Ember is to die in the future, it's going to be so much worse for FlyToMoon. So it's not just the current effect with buybacks, but you also got to look to the future and at an increased cooldown timer on your death later on. And of course, not having the ability to buy back later on as well. It's such a huge cost of buying back.
Bottom lane though, Ricky trying to go for a solo pickoff doesn't really work when you're hugging an Oracle and a Razor together. You can't get all the bounces of tricks and trade or attacks or the tricks and trade onto one hero.
Is hanging here, but Winstrike, they don't seem that afraid. Same time, they're not going to go for anything.
It's just he's a walking Ravage. Outside of Ravage, doesn't really contribute anything. So, if anything, I feel like Alohadan's put himself in these positions. He's not that tanky yet. And also, if he ever wastes Ravage, it's such a big timing for Winstrike to pressure. Like, 150-second cooldown on Ravage doesn't scale with more points in his ultimate. GSA getting the pick-up potential onto Tide. AA.
She's oh no, okay, that's finally able to die and get the kill in the end. Meanwhile, General playing with the Razor. This is what we expect here. Now the Razor getting completely surrounded. Yeah, no Ravage due to the Yules, but still getting a kill onto Chikirao. It is something. And Elkicked is going to be the next target. He's able to throw a couple of heals out onto himself. The Astral Remnant being used to try and help him out, but it's not enough to keep him alive. DK Focus had the Roar as well, but doesn't want to commit it just for their Oracle. But with two heroes dead, maybe FlyToMoon can look for something, but what? Bottom lane is being moved towards right now, but I'm really not sure how much they can get from this. Maybe just map control, a bit of presence on the enemy map, and choke Winstrike a little bit more.
It will primarily be map control. Like, when you lack tower damage, you can't really transition a pickoff at the early stages of the game with 20 to 30 second timers on your death to be tower damage. So you're going to see maybe then chip up. If they can maybe set up a position aggressively, then they can maybe make Winstrike feel scared to want to fight. But I think this will just be pushing the lanes, take back control of an area, and then off we go. Winstrike, on the other hand, they identify Ravage and cooldown 90 seconds. We should go. Even though we just died, we died because we were being ran at, and they are only strong at this kind of continued engagement where they go from pick off to pick off, and we're kind of having to retreat. So if Winstrike can get the numbers, they capture the outpost top, enabling the Razor TP, and the Oracle, not really there yet, but I'm assuming should be walking over soon enough. They're going to have the numbers advantages in top lane.
Certainly shall, and the top lane shall fall. I don't really think Winstrike want to go high ground here, though. Like, they don't really have the pushing or sieging ability, so it's going to take the next wave of creeps. Play a little bit risky, but they'll grab it easily enough. There's a lot of pings coming out towards this middle lane. A lot of pings onto TSA, actually. This is the Ember Spirit, Iceberg. He's hungry. He wants to eat some rocks. But unfortunately, the T1 tower has already fallen.
See how long it took? So the 2 towers that Radiant took, that entire time, General and Aloha were just like poking at this bottom tier 2. It took them so long. And this is the biggest downfall of FlyToMoon's draft. They have to go for like a full team wipe. Otherwise, they really do nothing to building.
Yeah, I'd say it's really weak. I'm actually surprised we didn't see like a Desolator or something like that on the Ember Spirit just to kind of help bridge that gap a little bit. But maybe it's still on the cards. For now, though, we're not going to have it.
No. The issue here is he needs to be able to farm and buy items because he needs defensive items against the Beastmaster, for example. He needs the Lincolns, or he needs maybe the BKB later on. And if he goes for Deso, he's committing to the fight. And I think right now, his entire team is about fighting. And if he commits as well, then you're kind of putting your team in like a very small box of we're just a one-dimensional fight lineup. And the Maelstrom allows him to have flexibility in his item build. Now completing the Lincolns, he can decide, am I going to try and go for maybe the crit build? Am I going to go for like the Shiva, the Axe build? Like, he has flexibility now because he has farming potential.
This Hawk is giving so much vision to FlyToMoon. And he's even seen their smoke. Oh dear.
Oh no. Holding the high ground for Winstrike. This could be a good position.
TSA just looking to pop it and then get himself out, but they might have seen DK focus, but there's too many creeps in the way. General can't go for the hook shot. Instead, they see Cheeky Route. What is Cheeky Route doing here? He just gets his BKB delivered. He's going to be able to pop it up in time, but unfortunately, he's not going to do anything because they've got so much right-click damage now down to the low ground. Ravage comes out, doesn't really land onto anybody, but he's up on the cliff. Oracle and DK focus going to get absolutely wrecked, as is Young G. They might have been spotted, but it didn't even matter. FlyToMoon are able to just absolutely clean house. And
that was disgusting. Put into a choke point by their own positioning.
Own devices.
And not only that, and then Clockwork coming around with beautiful cogs, pinning them in, pairing that with the Ravage coming over. Yeah, and I think it's been the story of the day. Razors in their own position with BKB, thinking they're a little bit tankier than they are, and AA like blowing up these heroes. It's beautiful. Get the AA blast on, lay it with any Ember type damage, and a delightful sight to see. Looking like we're probably going to game 3 with the way that FlyToMoon are currently running around this map and just getting pick off after pick off in their own on their own word that I can't think of.
Their own momentum side of the map.
Sure, yeah, I don't really know where I'm going with it. Yeah,
okay, fine.
Their own actions, they're dictating the game, the tempo. That'll do.
Cool. Meanwhile, Ember Spirit looks like he's
take it away.
Go for it. Ember Spirit looks like he's going to grab that Orb of Destruction coming out to him now, so that's going to be super annoying with the Slide of Fist, just making sure everyone's nice and low on armor, along with... Oh, Ricky. He's actually going to go down here. Nice pick off. I mean, that's a Necro unit. It's level 3, along with a Roar. Finding themselves a nice, easy one. All right. Maybe,
we're back.
maybe we can start to take back a bit of this map here.
Yeah, I thought FlyToMoon after that engagement might be a little bit respectful of the fact they don't have Ravage. We have to be very, very clear. Ravage up, very scary. No Ravage, not scary. And Winstrike, they have this ability to punish very easily. Beastmaster as a hero, with the Necro 3, the Hawk, Vision, being able to deward areas so quickly and swiftly, and also the ability to take towers so freely. You can't be so open on the map. You cannot disrespect the fact that they can pick you off so easily. And you're only winning fights because of the positioning and the fact that you can take it in certain choke points. And 20 seconds for Ravage, if they force it too early, then they might be blown up too quickly.
Interesting. Low hard dance. He's seen round the back here and immediately jumping in. They go for the hookshot forward onto the Oracle. Meanwhile, Ice Blast coming in the backlines, and they have actually managed to spook back Winstrike. Winstrike not looking to fight into this. They think that Ravage is up, I think, and it will be in 5 seconds. So deciding not to turn around and just try and run themselves away. DK Focus seen in the trees. TP cancelled out by the Cogs, and now Iceberg comes over, and they will be able to clean up the Beastmaster as well. So it's going to be a clean 3 kills. Go on the way of FlyToMoon. A great engagement from them. I mean, that was weird.
Yeah.
Aloha Dance just kind of ran at them like he had Ravage. He did not, but he just kind of knew that they wouldn't count it, and that's just kind of disrespectful play almost. But
let's have a quick look at the minimap real quick as they ignore TSA. He's probably going to die. Let him do his thing. He survived, right? So looking at the minimap right now, this single ward that Radiant had placed, as they're trying to play aggressive in this area here, they feel safe because they know about this rotation. But realistically, they don't actually control this area due to the double dire ward setup placed here and here, which means even if they try and push this tower, it's so easy for Dire to wrap around and get these pickoffs. We saw the Oracle standing on the high ground here, super out of position, but he was playing off his ward, not respecting the potential Dire vision.
Very nice, very nice. Good use of the mini-map there. As we return to the regular viewing.
Oh, thank you.
So, Winstrike, you know, they need to... I don't know what they need to do, to be honest. They need to find a way to actually take a fight, which is easier said than done. And now the Ravage is up for realsies, and that makes everything way scarier.
Yeah. This Razor with BKB, he gets AO'd, it's like, we don't really care about you.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky's able to deal with them anyways.
Yeah. Ember Spirit going for the physical damage build, going back for the Crystalus. So now, not only is he hard to kill due to Lincoln Sphere, he's also pumping out quite a lot of right-click damage. Bottle DD as well. This next fight is all FlyToMoon.
Yeah, it's their game to lose, I think. And their game to win.
For sure.
It's hard to see like any way which Winstrike could play really well to kind of come back into this one. I mean, obviously you always can. I think if you can drop down this Tide before he can get off Ravage, then obviously that's going to be amazing, but they don't have a way to do that. Like, they don't have nearly enough lockdown, and even if they did, he's got the Kraken Shell, so...
Yeah, it's mainly the fact that they are quite slow, but like, now they're getting better because they got the DD, unlocks their high ground, but
yeah,
this is a rune-based play. So I think it's all about just making the jump, surviving the initial Ravage, and then playing from there.
And no Fortify for either team currently. Send in some remnants, control up who they can, and in comes TSA looking for something. I mean, they've got a decent amount of damage done onto the Tide Hunter. The Brax is still alive for now. Iceberg trying to really force this one. Ricky Illusion as well, helping Iceberg out here. So they throw down the silence, and VK Focus, he's tempted to use the Raw here. You can kind of feel it, but not going to, because he's got the Lincolns, and they're able to just get themselves out. Clean melee barracks, and FlyToMoon do retreat. Very clean.
It's actually insane that they were able to take that Rax simply because of a DD. Without the DD rune, there is no way that they can take high ground so cleanly.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Spot on there, TeaGuv. Spot on there, love.
Thanks, mate.
You're welcome. So Winstrike trying to extend out onto the map once again. Oh, wow. They get their smoke cancelled by a traveling Ember Spirit. A speeding Ember. Even though
I
it did that.
do like this play, though, from Winstrike, which is... The classic play of a team that takes Rax is to retreat to the local high ground, hold it, wait for the enemy team to leave their base to push out lane, and then punish them. But the way that Winstrike play against this is they instantly move to the opposite corner of the map to then try and do the rebuttal, which is, we're so confident we took a Rax, we'll TP one hero back, we'll go for a pickoff. As you can see here.
They found one, and it's a big one. Iceberg, do they have the damage to finish the job, though? I'm not sure they do. He's going to be able to get themselves out of their remnant to safety. Meanwhile, on the backlines, they've got the Razor. He's being controlled up. He has got the BKB, though, and Youngji's going to come and join him inside this smoke and try and get the damage to kill off General, but they don't seem to have enough here. General to be able to get himself away, or is he? Turns it around. V-Tune's with him. They've got the damage to bring down Chicky Round, and it looks like General is actually going to survive this one. Void Spirit's going to actually get himself back as he retreats from this fight. Meanwhile, TSA, he needs to leave. Meanwhile, DK Focus has been finished off by Iceberg, and now V-Tune looking for more, and TSA is going to be the target, but he's got the TP and gets himself to safety. So that puts an end to that fight, with 3 heroes once again dying on Winstrike and only getting 1 support. This seems to be the theme of the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, I really respect Winstrike and that like kind of creative play to move to another side of the map, try and punish the fact that teams have such a default playstyle post taking Rax, but the issue is simply they just didn't have the right amount of heroes. Maybe that should have been an instant Ember blow up, but even if they did blow up the Ember, as you see, he does have buyback. So the play's good, but is the play good when you're 14k behind? Not really. That's like a Hail Mary play where if the game was a lot closer,
Oh my
maybe 2k, 3k.
goodness.
Yeah.
FlyToMoon
They can't
destroys
really do anything.
the Oracle.
Kill after kill after kill.
And Ravage still up this entire time. It's still there. They've still got that option. Dear me. Bottom lane, the final one remaining. They have got creeps on the high ground, sorry, for the time being, so if they want to... Oh my goodness, look at the damage he's doing to the Razor. And now the Ricky jumps forward. He's just going to kill him through the BKB. They bring him down. No buyback on this Razor. Can they get the return kill to Ricky? No, because the Ravage is going to come in and save the terrorist. Enough? No. The BKB does allow them to kill off FlyToMoon. Now Iceberg coming forwards, looking for more, and it is going to be the Tiny brought down. Meanwhile, Young G and TSA both hit by an Ice Blast. 3-man inside the base. Kick just going to throw down the false promise as soon as possible to make sure Young G does get picked up. But no, Iceberg! He just comes in and cleaves Kicked in two. That's so rude. That is so rude. The poor guy, he just respawned.
Not about mana.
Another crit. Another crit. No problems. Just throwing them out.
The Orb of Destruction as well to pair with that. I don't know if we mentioned that yet.
Yeah, GG. They're just Jesus Christ. Let us go, please. We don't want this.
Game 3.
I mean, that was fairly nice, but unfortunately the GG's have already been called. But
sorry, come on. I was trying to get the game 3 hype going and
Go
just
again.
went back to the game. No, it's fine. Like, I lost it. No, it's fine. No, whatever. We're going to a game 3.
we're going to a game 3. Whoa!
There
we go. Game 3. FlyToMoon
man.
versus the other guys. Winstrike. Game 3 coming up.
Jesus.
Shortly. Yeah. And anything else left to say about this game? I guess.
I believe FlyToMoon had the better draft. I believe that FlyToMoon had the better tenacity to come back to this game, and I feel like they might be able to have a really good game 3. I think the main concern is simply Winstrike. I don't like these CIS teams all-inning on the early Razor pick to try and simplify their draft, to try and bait around the pick. Like, you pick Razor for an idea, and like, sure, the idea of this Razor pick was to counter the Tidehunter in lane, thinking it was a Tide core, but then they just swap up the Tide roll, put it on 4, put the clock on 3, and then they got a chill game, right? They just do some stuff. And even if the laning phase is good, at no point in the game will this Razor feel confident due to the AA always hitting the Ice Blast on Razor, pairing it with that really long range damage of Ember. So
His BKB did nothing.
Literally nothing. So I think this game, it's easy to say, but this game, it all boils down to draft. The first game, Winstrike, beautiful draft. Second game, FlyToMoon. Drafts are a little bit closer, but overall, just when you write it out on paper and really think about how they're executing it, it's just fluid, beautiful, aggressive gameplay that they really lacked in the first. So going to a game 3, a lot of things to learn from, and hopefully should align to a much closer, probably quite a long game.
And now time for my analysis. GG, Winstrike, no carry. And that's going to be it from us for the midway through the series anyway. We got one more game, but that's it from us for game 2. We're going to throw it to a short break, and I'm going to be back for the game 3, the final game of the day. Winstrike versus FlyToMoon. Who's going to be taking those all-important points? You're going to find out after the short break.